welcome to Bethel Brothers Hot Rod Project Apache Part 11. I've got some more stuff to show you, so stick around and stay tuned, you garage grease monkey junkies. On episode 10, I was showing you how I was doing some of the body work and the sanding. And I kind of had some primer down, blah blah blah. It's been raining, okay? So I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff. Everything's all wet, you can't really do body work, but I managed to get this side painted. It's just a primary coat, it's a base coat, and it's coming along and I think it looks dope. I've also started some resto work on some of the chrome parts, and I've got a lot more work to do. I'm also working on the badges. Let me show you what I'm doing with those. Okay, here's the one for the driver's side. They chrome these things, and then as you can see, they're chromed all the way through, and then they painted them. Now I could have covered up every one of these with tape to paint them, but I chose not to because it's really hard, and I freehanded it using a fingernail polish brush. Check out the end result. This one I'm starting to restore on, and it's got the black in there, and I restored the red. Makes it pop. I gotta clear coat it that helps save it in junk, the paint, so it doesn't, you know, get irritated or whatever, or chipped out. I'm gonna cover it in a good layer like glass, that way it doesn't come out or chip off. I'm looking at the hood here, and some of you have said, dude, we want to see the sanding tips, and because I was doing everything inside in closed quarters, I didn't want to use my camera in there. Ruin the camera, you don't get to see any episodes. Unless you guys all start buying my books and CDs, and then, you know, I could afford another camera. But since today is a good day, this area here is a perfect area to show you what I'm talking about on the sanding. So as you can see, there's this spot hidden in the paint. Now because it's bright and stuff, you're not going to really see it, but when you put new paint over that, you are so going to see it. So I'm going to concentrate on that little area and give you some sanding tips. Now the first thing I'm going to do is open up the area, clean it up with a palm sander so you can better see what I'm talking about. Just focus on it. In this phase, you can see how the scratch is opened way up. Now you can still feel it when you run your finger over it, especially on this one. There's a big rock ding in it, so you have to keep sanding past the area. You want to open it up about that far. Okay, the area that the scratch was right here, and then the two rock dings. Now it just looks like that little area is all I sanded, but if you look closer, the discolored area is the paint that was below it. So I'm actually a few inches past the actual area that it was, and that's what you want to do. See, your eye is more susceptible to follow to that. You're like, ow, there's a ding. But when you open it up like this, your eye's not going to see it because of the actual angle of it. It's a gradual instead of a dramatic, okay? And that's the key to it. There's other spots too, like there's junk stuck in the paint. And you can actually hear it. Listen to the difference. Rough, because there's all kinds of pits and surfaces on this, little like bugs and junk stuck in it. Down here, woo! Before, after. Hear the difference? And when the paint lays over that, it ends up looking smooth like this. Let me find a spot where there was a big, here's one. That's where there was a similar area, that's why it's discolored. Paint's actually transparent, so you need multiple layers to cover it up. And you can only see it, but you can understand by looking down it, you can't see where it's at, and once there's enough coats of paint, you won't be able to tell that that was there. Same with all down the side. That's why it all looks pimpin', you heard me? But there's your sanding tips. Don't ask me for them again, okay? This is how you sand. This is why it's boring. You know what I mean? And I don't want to film the whole truck being sanded. It's just, dude, there's nothing to show to you. You know, that's it. You just sand it. I'm using 220 grit. You can start at 80 if you want, but it leaves big waves. I use 220 because it ends smooth. Yes, you go through more paper. Yes, it takes longer, but the end outcome is sweet. You follow me, people? Alright, now I gotta do something else. Now remember, I said I was gonna clear coat the tin, so I'm using a polyurethane clear gloss, and it's super fast drying. I'm even applying it with a brush, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. Some of the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to hide the brush strokes of me covering it with the paint. And there's some high points, and to do that, I'm going to allow this to sit in there and settle. That way, it will help build up the high points, level them out, so it looks all smooth. Yes, darlings, it's cheating, I know. Just applying it liberally. Damn liberals. I'm gonna get in between everything, and I'll have a little trick for you in a second when I come back. I carefully wiped off the excess, especially on the lettering and around the edges. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's tiny little air bubbles in there, and I don't want those staying in, so the way to get them out is you gently blow on it. It helps disperse it. Breaks the surface tension and lets the bubble out. See, I missed a little spot. I'll have to get to that, but that's how I got the bubbles out. Now, just so this gets a little further along and I have a little break in the weather, it's not supposed to rain till later on, I'm gonna try to get this side sanded, bust this out, and then hit it with a coat of paint just to protect it, because with all this rain, dude, I'm backpedaling because I got rust forming and everything else. Here's a little mid-step tip, man. See right here where the dust is building up on the hard edge of the Bondo. Now if you wipe it, you may not even see it's there, man. But once you stop seeing that build up, you start sanding and it starts falling off. Like here on this edge, it's not building up, it's building up there. But you just keep sanding that edge until it disappears. Rather than sit here and watch this go on and on and on, I'm just gonna keep repeating these steps all the way down until it's ready. Smooth up these edges, around down here, around the door casing. It's a lot of junk, so I don't want to be sitting here eating up tape and time. You get the idea, right? Cool. As the storm clouds loom in the sky. Got all my junk sanded, man. Even taped everything up. Covered up the tires with some old blankets. Now this is just tack coat, so. Plus with all the rain coming out, normally I would have sanded the entire vehicle before putting any paint on it whatsoever, but because it is a stormy season, I have to put something on it, man, because it's outside. So I'm gonna throw some paint on here. You ready? 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 Are you ready? Are you ready? Huh? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? So look at what it looks like now. Remember? Ugly, 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 way ugly, way ugly. I'm not doing the hood. The hood's coming later, so is the top and the back. Just the side. Don't go, dude, you missed the hood. Duh. I'm just doing the side. Just the side. Okay? You got it? You got it? Ready? Ready? There it is, man. Manats. Got some paint on it. It's kind of thin, but it's just a tack coat. I don't want to put too much on so it starts running and I got more sanding to do. Just gonna build it up in layers of paint. There's the beginning of it. So Joe just calls. His radiator blows up in his lowrider. So he's bypassing some junk. He's on his way here. I'm gonna be here to help him out. I guess we're gonna take the lowrider down, and Dad's 65 down to the shop for a new tranny, and they're gonna be worked on. And Joe and I'll be up here and one of his other rides. So. I got a lot of junk to take care of, man, so until the next episode, thanks for tuning in and watching Bethel Brothers Hot Rod. Peace out, babies.